Hello and welcome to Quality of Life Radio, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio's Quality of Life show. We're super excited to have Dr. Jacqueline Eubany back on the show to talk about heart health. She's been on our show for a number of years, and today she's going to talk about work and stress. Whether you own your own company, starting your company, maybe you're working 2 to 3 jobs, whatever you're doing on the business front, career front, it can be stressful, especially now as you know the pandemic's kind of gone away, but there's issues for sure. There's still supply chain issues, and so stress can go to the high point. So especially over the holiday season for retailers, but all that stress, as she tells us in her best-selling book, Women and Heart Disease: A Real Story, that stress can cause hypertension, high blood pressure. And that is just not good for our heart, because that's not what we want on, Christmas Day. That's the last thing we want when we're around our families, to have a heart attack. So please go to her website, womenandheartdiseasebook.com. So welcome back, Dr. Jackie. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's really true to have all this stress. Like, even as I was saying all that, I started to feel a little verklempt. I'm just saying. all that stress regarding work, getting that report in, if it's consistent, can that really be, is it like you could have a real stressful day at work, but I mean, if it's all the time, how bad can that be for our heart?
Yeah, so stress in itself can have adverse effects on your cardiovascular health. With increased stress, people's blood pressures tend to go up, their heart rate tends to go up. And over time, with this constant elevation in your in your blood pressure and in your heart rate, it can lead to, devastating effects to your heart, like a heart attack. It can cause a stroke and things like that. So it's very important to try to regulate your stress, especially if you have a history of heart disease or hypertension or diabetes and those kinds of things.
Okay, so when you're at work, I mean, should you be regulating your blood pressure while you're at work, or what do you do?
Well, I think it's important to have outlets to quote unquote de-stress. You need to figure out how to de-stress, what things calm you down or bring you down, to a more comfortable level, whether it be meditation, whether it be exercising, whether it be finding a hobby that you absolutely love doing. So finding something to help you during periods of stress can definitely help decrease your risk for cardiovascular disease.
And so, like, at work, I mean, what happens if you have like a really bad coworker or boss who's like nagging you consistently to a point of like crazy? Like, I think you've got to go to your happy place or something to deal with it, because you can't keep the reactions. Our reactions, emotional reactions, cause us that hypertension, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it can. It's just, a lot of times it's the way you interpret what's going on around you. And if you interpret it as a stressful situation, then you feel stress about it. So, overall, just like you said, finding your happy place, figuring out how to, de-stress, because a lot of times you can't control the situation that you're in, but you can control how you react to the situation. So if you can figure out how to make yourself less stressful, how to make the stressful events less stressful and not affect you so much, I think that goes a long way in helping with your cardiovascular health.
Yeah, I think, the hospitality industry, restaurant industry, retail industry, you're dealing with the general public, and the general public can sometimes not be too kind. and right now, so many places are understaffed. I know you've been traveling. I don't know
Right.
if you felt that even in when you were in Europe and Italy recently, that places are understaffed. So it's kind of like we have to when I think about heart health, I feel like we as the consumers need to be kinder to the people on the other side too. It's not just what's going on for them. But like, we have to think about all of us together. It's like whatever you're doing to someone could affect their heart, you know,
Yeah.
and vice
I would
versa.
agree. Yeah. I would agree that people should be nicer, but the reality is you can't control the way other people behave. The only thing that you can
No.
control is how you behave. So you have to really figure out how to, not allow things to affect you to the point where it is causing, health issues for yourself. And then, of course, if
Yeah.
you already have heart disease, if you have hypertension, sometimes stress can make people not want to stick to a healthy lifestyle, because it's very easy when
Hmm.
you're under a lot of stress to pick up, sugary or non-healthy foods to eat because it's quicker and it's there and it gives you some satisfaction. It may trigger you not to take your medications because you're just so tired and fatigued. So you just have to make sure you continue with your healthy lifestyle, continue to take your medications, and figure out how to de-stress and not allow things to affect you so much.
And just because someone annoyed you at work, you're not allowed to have the second glass of wine. It's the 5 ounces,
No,
ladies.
you're not.
That's it.
No,
That's it. Well, I
because
think,
the only person because the only person you're hurting is yourself.
right. And I think this is what's so key about talking to you, because, we talk about women's heart disease, and as you stress, if you change your lifestyle habits, you've got 80% chance of reducing, the chance of having a heart attack or heart disease. And, this is the most deadliest disease for women in this country is heart disease. And it, doesn't show I mean, if we have a heart attack, a lot of people don't know we're having a heart attack. So it's a very scary thing. But I think about for women in the workplace, we're strong, absolutely, but our emotions, um, we have to be able to figure out our emotion, have emotional strength to maintain
Yes.
our our wellness, because it is connected, right? Our emotions, I mean, don't our hormones
Yeah.
kind of dictate what's going on too for our body?
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you're under a lot of stress, you have a lot of, negative reactions, like, being fatigued all the time, being hungry or wanting to eat something because you're so nervous, or,
Donuts.
grabbing for the sugary donut because it's close and it gives you that, quick satisfaction that's, not long lasting. So,
Mm.
yeah, so that can definitely affect you.
I think it's just we have to kind of take that deep breath. And, there's like, for me, Nancy and I, and, what we do with the publishing has always been one of those crazy careers, and you're on deadline all the time and it's stressful. It is. And back in the day, they used to say those in the publishing industry were drinking far more than other people because of the stress. And dentists and not dentists, dentists and publishers, there was one of the highest rates of suicide. This is way back when. It's not the same now. It's a little different now that we're all digital. And I have to say, the one thing that for me has always worked is somehow finding nature, like in between business calls, maybe take a walk. If you're going on your lunch break, maybe take a walk, go to the park with your
Absolutely.
sandwich or, your salad, as Dr. Jackie would say.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Absolutely.
doing those
And for me,
choices. Hmm.
yeah, no, I was going to say I agree with you. For me, I'm the same way. Exercise is a way that helps me relieve some of my stress. I recently started doing yoga, and
Ooh,
I think it's absolutely fabulous. It really, helps me relax and de-stress.
I've heard also from men that, especially because you've got to think about our history of, the warriors and everything, that exercise takes off a lot of anger. Like I don't know what happens with the hormones swapping over, serotonin levels, but apparently, like what you think was such a big deal, if you exercise or do some kind of physical activity, it can reverse like basically the whole thing. Like you can just realize that you're almost overreacting, because I think for men they go into like a I will be the warrior mode, right? For women, we can do that too, make no mistake. Don't mess with us. We're worse.
Yeah.
You do not want to mess with us.
No, exercising is definitely good for your cardiovascular health. It helps with every single organ system in the body. And it doesn't have to be a marathon. It doesn't have to be a triathlete. Just, doing something small, taking a walk, walking for, American Heart Association recommends, just 2 hours of exercise a week. So something even as light as that is good. So it doesn't have to be, so strenuous that you're completely turned off and you don't even want to do it.
What do you think of? I know the world is changing in that there's so many more remote workers, the workforce, and it's, then they're like, oh, well, I'll get together once a week, or, it's just kind of in that flux, which can cause stress. But it seems like people are more productive at home, depending on their career and who they are. Just everybody's different. But, we have these huge companies like Amazon and Google and, Facebook, all these people. But it seems that some of those companies are starting to recognize the importance of having even a gym and, even, babysitting, at the office
Right.
kind of thing. Do you think, companies and big corporations like that should look at that? And, if they're having cafeterias, maybe look at what they're serving in the cafeteria.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, encouraging healthy behaviors and habits will definitely, promote the health of your workers and, keeping them living longer, and maybe they'll be happier to work for your company. Absolutely. I think it's important to continue to promote, healthy habits and lifestyles, even at work.
Yeah. I think there's something about keeping a good team is looking at their health and wellness too, not just as a
Yeah,
workhorse, you know? And I
exactly.
think, yeah,
Exactly.
we've kind of shifted. I mean, if I think back to like the 80s and 90s, it was like, work it, and I think now that our companies are shifting into a more positive culture, and
Yeah,
I like that. I think it's important basically to, if you don't take care of your staff and your team,
exactly.
you're not going to have a good company. And if they
I
get
would
sick,
agree.
yeah, and it's better for health insurance. And that's a whole other issue, right? See, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people are stressed out making these big changes and then trying to navigate the healthcare system. It's like a really horrible thing, So
That is-
I think that's part of it too. But I think this is, great information, Dr. Jackie. What did you do? I know your career, we were just featuring you in the latest issue of Success Express magazine, talking about your path of becoming a, board certified cardiologist, electrophysiologist, and best-selling author. Um, which wasn't an easy path, as we talked. How did you keep yourself from, like, even going through med school and everything, from not overstressing and losing it?
Yeah, for me, I, always look for things that will calm my mind and make me, less stressed. For me, I have a strong spiritual background, so,
Mm.
going to church and doing spiritual things definitely help. I like exercising. I love to travel. So I always
Mm-hmm.
make sure that I'm doing these things despite the fact that I'm so busy and I'm so stressed out. I make time to do things that replenish my spirit, replenish my soul, and just try to keep myself healthy.
Mm. I almost feel like we have to have a wellness journal as busy people, I know there's
Yeah.
Fitbits and 10,000. I think the 10,000 step thing is cool because that's a nice, but you always talk about walking being one of the best um, things you can do. So that's why I wonder about everybody working at home. It's so easy to just be stuck at your computer. And, dogs and kids are great because they make you get up and do things, But if you're at
Right.
home, you
Right.
can end up just, the TV on and working away and not moving, So I worry
Yeah.
about, the remote work. Are we getting healthier? Are we not? Every person is so different, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like we almost need like
Yeah.
some kind of journal for this.
Yeah. I know. I was going to say that remains to be seen. All this is new. Over the years, we'll find out whether or not it's productive to work from home. I know I don't have the luxury of doing that as a physician. I can't work from home. So we'll see
Mm.
what the data shows about productivity and health, and people's health working from home as opposed to working, going, out to work.
I tell you what, I'm healthier when, as we travel full time and, do this pet sitting in between things. When we're taking care of dogs that need walks, my entire body changes and I can feel it within 3 days. Like,
Yeah.
and I can feel if I'm just hanging out with cats and not going on those walks, that I really do love, my daily walks. And I can tell you there's a whole difference. It's just everything, even your skin, your attitude, your observation, just your mind, So I think it's
Right.
it's a got to watch that. Well, everybody keep up with Dr. Jackie at womenandheartdiseasebook.com. She's based out of Orange, California, Orange County. And you can keep up with her there too and contact her at cvwellnessinstitute.com if you need to see a cardiologist. So you got to call Dr. Jackie, Dr. Jacqueline Eubany. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Jackie. It's always a pleasure to get that advice and always that reminder of take care of our heart because we only have one ticker. We got to take care of it.
That's correct. Well, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure coming on your show.
Thank you. You take care. And stay healthy.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Stay healthy. Bye.